Hey guys, I'm EJ Yancey from our inside sales team. With me today from our product support team, I have Nikolai Patterson and Preston Setzer. So, Preston, we've been hearing a lot about polishing here lately. What are we going to learn about today?
Yeah, so we're going to learn a little bit more about polishing today, but we're also going to go into more of our company history, the variety of the products we have, and really get into, KLINGSPOR has anything you need in your shop whenever you need it. If you're grinding, blending, polishing, we have all the products for you. So that's what we're going to try to get into today. I know, Nikolai, you have some company history you want to go over, so.
Yeah, so KLINGSPOR Abrasives actually started as a glue factory in 1893. We did that for about 6 years. And then in 1899, we started our coated abrasive sides of things. We're in around 30 countries, so we can meet your needs anywhere around the globe pretty much. We can get the product to you fairly quickly. We were actually the first company to do a waterproof abrasive sandpaper. We did that in 1926. We started our bonded products in about 1944, so we're proven. We've been in the industry a long time. And we can get you what you need fairly quickly. In 1979, Mr. KLINGSPOR actually brought the U.S. contingency over from Europe with less than 20 employees. Now we have around 300, a little bit more than 300 here in 2025. We started with around 60,000 in around the 90s. We have a 120,000 square foot facility. So we've expanded, we've invested, we're constantly innovating our machinery. Whether that be our glue operation or our robotics inventory. So constantly innovating and we're proven. And the next thing is safety. We were a founding member of the organization for the safety of abrasives. So safety is at the forefront of what we're doing here at KLINGSPOR. That's about all I have. EJ, what do you have on your side?
Yeah, so, Nikolai just mentioned bonded products started back in 1944, right? So that's, 80 years of bonded products and experience with that. So we offer cutoff wheels and grinding disc in all different types of sizes and different applications. Depending on the application, we can really narrow down what cutoff wheel or grinding disc you will need, based off size and bonds and even grits, because yes, cutoff wheels do have grits. We take all that into account, and then safety is, the top priority here at KLINGSPOR. So that's just something that we offer with bonded to get you started in, what we're talking about today, polishing. So you got to start somewhere, from the fabrication to the cutting to the grinding. Most of the time you're going to start with a bonded product. That moves us on to a flap disc. We have all different types of flap disc. Flap disc are a better finisher than, say, a grinding disc. Bonded products remove really quickly. Flap discs, maybe not quite as quickly, but they do offer a better finish. So that's kind of more prevalent to what we're talking about today with flap discs. So just depending on the application, the big thing we want to get across to you guys is we have something for everybody, every application whenever we're talking about cutting and grinding. So once you're finished with the cutting and grinding, then you're going to move into, the second and third steps all the way up to polishing. Preston, you want to touch on a little bit of that?
Yeah, so like EJ said, your first step in usually metalwork is going to be your cutting and grinding. That's your really aggressive, you're cutting stuff down, you're grinding welds down, that kind of stuff. So that's really aggressive, really low grits. So it's like EJ said, you're removing material fast in that first step. So you're not really worried about finishing then, you're more worried about removing what you need to as quickly as you can. So going from that really aggressiveness, the cutoff wheels and the grinded disc, you touched on the flap disc also. So those are a little bit more, better finishing. You get a more consistent finish, and it's not going to be too aggressive to where you're really messing up work pieces as easy. So from those flap discs, we kind of go into that blending section. So it's kind of your second step in metalworking. So that's when you're going to start setting yourself up for polishing, cleaning up and giving it a really good finish. So Nicola, I know you have some kind of blending applications you want to talk about, so if you can go into that.
So like they said, we have stuff for your blending applications. We went over bonded for your heavy duty stuff, but we have something like our flat brushes, whether that be spindle mounted, or we have some that are like 4.5 inch with a keyway hole. And that kind of just gets that inline scratch, gets you ready for that next step of polishing.
Yeah, so we've got all the way just about to where we're ready to polish, right? We've cut, we've grinded, we've got to a flat disc or maybe a fiber disc, which are, you know, very cost-effective way to remove metal as well. So we've got all the, now we've moved into possibly a non-woven product. Now we're getting ready to, you know, for the grand finale. We want, you know, possibly a mirror finish. We're just looking for whatever our customer is looking for. So Preston, take us home on how we finish this up.
Yeah, so like Nicola was saying, you know, that second process, you're really working on getting that consistent finish, those inline scratches, and that really helps you set up for the polishing steps. So the easier you get in the blending section, the easier it is to polish. And that's a big thing is, you know, going from that first to the last step, you want to stay consistent. So our polishing products, you know, we're really trying to grow them and get them out there now. We really have a wide variety for really any finish you're going for. If that's a number 2 to, you know, like that mirror finish you were talking about, EJ. So with that, you know, we have the non-woven line. That's where it's going to, you know, not remove material. It's going to really shine it up and give it a good finish. You're not polishing quite yet, but you're still getting a consistent finish. The convolute wheels, that's going to give you that consistent inline scratch, that good shine. And then we have the full polishing line. So that's really what we're trying to get out there to the hands of people, grow our products and all that. So KLINGSPOR, you know, we're not big into the polishing like some other companies, Divine Brothers, Osborne, you know, some big name companies out there. We're newer to this stuff, but we have really good stuff. And that's why we want to get it out there, you know, let people try it and grow. So we have a full line of products. We have cotton polishing wheels, cotton treated, sisal, Bramante, you know, all the different materials you'll need for polishing, we have them. And to pair them with the polishing wheels, we have the compounds also. So like I said, we have everything you need to polish. The compounds, we have the 2 through the 5. The part numbers, you know, if you need them, you can reach out to us later. We'll talk about that at the end. But we have anything from the number 2 finish to that number 8 compound. So anything you need, no matter what finish you're looking for, we'll have the products for it. And that's what we're really trying to emphasize here and get out to our customers is, you know, we can polish for you, you know, give us a try and let us get out to in your shops. Because we want to grow our line, grow the company. We want to be able to get from that first step of cutting and grinding all the way to polishing. So we, you know, like I said, we have that full polishing line, all the stitch patterns, all the materials. We really can do anything you want to get into the customer, into the doors.
So you were talking about the compounds that we have, right? We have that 1 through 5. What is the technical aspect? What exactly are those? Does it just provide a better shine? The higher you get, how does that work?
Yeah, so the way we describe our compounds is color to cut. So the color is the smoother the finish, the brighter the shine. The cut is the more scratches in it, where the cut comes from, like in abrasives. So when you cut a product, it's not as smooth as if you color it. So in polishing, the more color you have, the brighter shine is going to be. So it's going to be a smoother workpiece and all. To where if you cut more, it's not going to be as smooth and it's not going to have as bright as a finish. So the KPC2 is more aggressive. So it's 20% color, 80% cut. So what that means is it's going to cut 80% into the surface. And that don't necessarily mean really remove material. It's just going to kind of scratch up the top surface to where it's getting smoother and getting 20% color added to it. So it's going to be not a bright finish, but it's going to have some sort of shine to it. To where the 5 has 100% color. So it's going to be really smooth on top, and there's not going to be really any scratches in it. So that's what the color is. The smoother the finish, the smoother the material, the brighter the finish. The cuts, the rougher the scratches. It's not as bright as the smoother materials. And that's really the different compounds. And also to add on to the color and cut is different materials do different things with the polishing compounds. So the cotton, the Bramante, you want to go with more of the higher finishing, the higher color compounds. So if you're using a Bramante wheel, you want to use a 4 or 5 compound because that'll give you a brighter shine because the wheel is not too aggressive. to where if you're using, we'll say a sisal that's really aggressive, you want to use that KPC2U because it's a more aggressive material. So you kind of set yourself up to, do you want a more aggressive finish that's quicker, or do you want a brighter and smoother finish that's going to be a lot cleaner and better looking? And that's how you kind of set up the different wheels to the compounds.
Yeah, so I mean, bringing it all together, if you think about it, guys, we have a product for every step in the fabrication process. From starting out with the cutting and grinding, right? We have cutoff wheels in all different sizes and grits, whether you're looking for a precise cut or you're doing heavy grinding, heavy cutting. We have wheels for that as well. We have grinding discs for that as well. We have flat discs that, are more for getting you ready for a finish, right? They may not remove as much material, but they do finish much better whenever we're talking about grinding. Then whenever we transition out of that phase, we can transition into non-wovens and start prepping for the polish. And now we know we have compounds. Preston talked about 1 through 5 for all different types of polishing finishes. So we really can cover the whole spectrum as far as fabrication goes. And we're really excited about the polishing line and getting it out in front of our customers.
All right, well, it's been such a pleasure talking to you guys about our new polishing program that we have with KLINGSPOR. If you have any questions with sales, you can also reach out to your local sales representative or call our toll-free 1-800 number. For product recommendations and product help, you can always email productsupport@klingspor.com or use the extension 1273 off of the toll-free number. If you have any questions, we'd love to talk to you. Thank you for watching.